This is the Brave Ideas Podcast, brought to you by Aqua. I'm Dan Herman, I'm a strategist here at Aqua, and I'm joined today by my co-host.
Hi guys, I'm Verushen, I'm Head of Analytics at Aqua.
The Brave Ideas Podcast is all about bringing to light innovations and exciting new ideas in the realms of digital and marketing. And we're very privileged today to be joined by Mel Edwards, who's the CEO of Wunderman in the EMEA region. So that's Europe, Middle East, and Africa. And we're very excited to have Mel on the show. So thank you so much for joining us today.
Not at all. And you don't have to be privileged.
Okay, cool. We're on it then. So Mel, what's new?
What's new? I think one of the big topics of conversation that's happening with a lot of our clients at the moment across a lot of the markets within the region is around how we engage with customers. Sure. I think the world of a one-way dialogue has changed dramatically, and we are seeing that the relationship is now a two-way dialogue on an ongoing basis. So you can't expect as a brand to push out a brand proposition and content and not expect in some shape or form a customer to engage with that and give their views on that. A lot of clients are talking about wanting to do real-time marketing, and what does that mean in the sense of real-time marketing is actually, a two-way dialogue 24/7, and how they go about driving customer engagement at such a speed. And other clients are asking for a mobile-first strategy for their customer. And those are things that we are seeing a lot of at a market level and also at a global level, and we are working on those things at the moment.
That's great. I think, at Aqua, we haven't really used the word real-time marketing before.
Yeah.
I think we've definitely understood that in the new age, there has to be this trialogue.
Yeah.
So it's brands connecting with consumers connecting with brands, and that two-way mentality, and then almost the third facet, which is consumers talking about brands amongst each other, which mediums like social media bring to life.
Yeah.
So I think it's great that you're touching on points like real-time marketing, and I think maybe we could explore how that comes to life more.
And just to add to Verushen's point, I think that when we talk real time, and what's interesting for me, given the sort of work that I've done in the Coca-Cola brand, is that it's quite difficult to be real time when you're dealing with global companies with very entrenched processes. So I'd be really interested to get a take on how you global companies with those sort of very strong systems to control social media, how do they manage to be real time?
Yeah, and I think that is one of the challenges when your customers want a real-time experience, and yet maybe the business as such has processes and ways of working that don't necessarily deliver that. But I think there are probably three things that I see Wunderman being able to deliver on and support our clients in that. So the first is data. The second is creative, and the third is technology. And technology, for me, should be enabler to the two. So how do we use data and understanding of a customer to drive insight? How do we then use creative to make that experience far more impactful and richer? And then how do we use technology to deliver that experience and make it more impactful and make it seamless for the end user? I think, to go back to your question around how you deliver that for global clients who have very different infrastructures, there isn't a one-size-fits-all. And I think that all of the clients that we see asking for this, you have to work with them to sort of try to get to that. Will it always be real-time marketing? Not necessarily. But we need to try to aim for that, and we need to push our clients towards that, particularly as that's what customers expect now. That's what they expect and will be looking for moving forward.
Well, what I'm interested in is you speak about data and technology is the enabler. Can you tell us how data and real intimate customer data has changed the marketing space?
Yeah, and I can probably talk about one of our clients, actually, interestingly, Coke. And one of our clients that we do work for from a Coke perspective across Western Europe and Nordics, one of the briefs to us was, how do we take data that sits various different databases of individuals, probably maybe the mums in the household that have gone out and bought a 6-pack of Coke and filled in a coupon, or gone to some sort of, to a website and filled in their email address because they may have got some free vouchers, versus actually who the target audience is, which is a younger audience that's across various different social platforms, talking and engaging with the Coke brand. How do we bring those together to have a richer understanding of those audiences? So that's some of the work that we've been doing more recently with those clients at a local level. So taking data that sits with the client and then pulling in social data to fuse those together to give us a better understanding of individuals that we might not necessarily get our hands on otherwise.
So I think that's really interesting in terms of how data is transforming the marketing landscape across the world. Mm-hmm. And just one of the very interesting things I picked up from my research was just around how Wunderman UK focuses on digital transformation as one of the key business pillars. And I'd be quite interested to unpack what that means.
Yeah. You know what? I think it can mean many different things, to be honest. It could mean a client coming to us, wanting... It's still in its infancy, so it's probably worth me saying that, but I think it's one of the places that we absolutely want to go to as an agency. So we want to be seen as a business partner that clients come to with a business problem rather than a marketing problem. And not to say that we don't want that, but I think to get further up in having those conversations, I think not only helps the output, but helps the business as well. So it could be a client coming to us saying, we have 300 platforms across Europe. How do we plug those all together? Can we glue them together? How do we create synergies and get content through all of those platforms? How do we get them working properly? So that could be something that somebody could come to us, or it could be to say, you know what, the world is changing. Our business model will not be there in 5 years, and how do we change our business to a different model to make sure that we are ready for what's coming, because we can see the trends from let's say a newspaper, for instance, might see that the world of buying newspapers is not necessarily a world that will be there in 5 years' time.
Absolutely.
How do they change their business model to be? How do they future-proof their business model? Those are things that we engage our clients, are engaging with our clients on, which is around digital transformation. But it could also be around clients coming to us going, we need to be more customer-centric. How do we deliver that as a business, and how do we drive that and push that through the business, which is so difficult and complex to achieve. But those are the sorts of conversations that are now happening with some of our clients, which are really interesting, really rich, but we need to ensure as a business that we have those skill sets to help deliver against that. And that's not necessarily us all as Wunderman doing all of that. I don't think it should be about us answering those briefs completely as Wunderman. It could be aligning ourselves with other agencies or partners, ideally from WPP, to help us deliver those.
I think it's so fascinating how digital marketers are taking on roles that go way beyond marketing and are actually becoming key in delivering sort of business change for major companies. And I just wonder how, take it to someone who's starting out in digital from an agency perspective. What sort of skills do you think are really important in being able to have those conversations? You know what,
I think, I'm not in my, I know it's hard to believe, but I'm not in my early 20s. I think, you're not laughing at that point. I think, you talk about, I don't think, do people 21, 22 talk about digital in that? I think they just see it as the norm, don't they? Yeah. And I think because of the technology, by the time someone comes and starts within an agency, all of those technologies and are just a given. So I think the skill set. So I personally think that rather than thinking that somebody's coming in as a graduate trainee, what they need to learn from us, I think and don't get me wrong, there are a lot of things that we should be. Yes. But I think it's a two-way thing, and I think there is a lot of things I, for one, could be learning from individuals that are coming on board at that level, because they know a lot more than I do about certain things. That's for sure.
I think it's absolutely exciting that you talk about agencies and how they advise on business improvement, even via digital platforms or via technology platforms, because I think it's what we've been passionate about for a long time. Getting to a space where we are trusted advisors, where Aqua makes input into not just marketing of products but actual optimization of the products itself. And for someone in a leadership position as yourself, talking about business improvement is really exciting to us.
Yeah, I think one of the interesting things is that Aqua is now unpacking their positioning to be the agency for a digital age. And it's I think what's important for the people at Aqua is to try and actually compute what that really means in practical terms, because we see agency for a digital age. Does that mean we're a digital agency, or does that mean that we're changing businesses? Does that mean that we do above the line in a digital way? Like, what does it practically mean for us? I don't know what your thoughts are.
Well, I don't think it's necessarily the former. I think it's more of the latter in terms of what you've just said. I think it is about looking at it. For me personally, I think it's about understanding what that business looks like and how you can take them through the future. Or take them through the future, help them because of the skills and the knowledge that you have as a business that you have built up over so many years of sort of knowing what works, what doesn't work, the mistakes, the errors, and all of the good things to drive that forward with your clients.
Great. So thanks, Mel. I know that time is tight in our world, and I just wanted to thank you again for joining us on this very special edition of the Brave Ideas podcast. So
Not at all. I'm very privileged.
You are, and honoured.
Thank you.
Cool. So I'm just going to hand over to Verushen for the tool of the week.
Great. So thanks, Dan. The tool of the week this week is a content curation tool called Percolate. Percolate's been making quite a bit of traction in the US and the UK markets, and recently we've been exposed to it via our global clients like Unilever. Percolate is great for content planning, content creation, multiple levels of content creation. So brand managers, community managers, product owners can create content, as well as users can create content themselves. Content is pulled together in an aggregated way in a moderating platform, and then content can be exposed to the public on social channels like Facebook and Twitter and the likes. Percolate also has content repositories, so brand teams can produce assets and house them within Percolate for use by the content providers or content creators. Check out percolate.com, and any more information you can come and ask Dan and myself.
Thanks, V. So Mel, if people at Aqua want to learn more about you or get in touch with you, what do they need to do?
They can phone me on my mobile, but I won't always pick up. They can just drop me an email, mel.edwards@wunderman.com.
Excellent. So in order for people to find out more about the Brave Ideas podcast, what they need to do is follow Aqua Agency on Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. You can follow myself at Elhermo, that's ELHERMO, and Verushen at
VIR0 on Twitter.
One of the major and important things is that we need content for the show, so we invite all the employees of the Aqua Group to submit their topic idea to braveideas@aquaonline.com. And with that, I say farewell and see you in the next episode.